You never need to confront a fake friend. Just stop playing your role in their illusion. The silence that follows will expose them faster than any argument could. They'll start to panic when your energy no longer bends for them. They'll test you, guilt you, provoke you, because without reaction, they're nothing. Every manipulator needs an audience. You end the show when you stop clapping, so don't fight to be understood. Withdraw and observe, because the most dangerous power isn't anger, it's quiet recognition, and nothing terrifies pretenders more than a calm person who finally sees through them. Section 1. The calm before betrayal. Fake loyalty is never loud. It's polite, predictable, and painfully polished. It shows up when you're useful, disappears when you're not, and always arrives dressed as concern. They study your habits to mirror them, your tone to mimic it, your trust to weaponize it. They learn what comforts you, not to protect you, but to use it later when manipulation requires disguise. Most people call it friendship. I call it surveillance. They laugh at your jokes, nod at your victories, and act like mirrors. But mirrors only reflect light. They never generate it. Watch closely. The moment your light stops shining for them, their reflection flickers. It's never betrayal that cuts the deepest. It's recognition that the laughter you trusted was rehearsal, that the support you believed in was performance. You were investing emotion into a shadow, feeding something that existed only while you were standing in the light. So, before you call someone loyal, test the silence. Pull back your energy. Watch how they breathe when your presence no longer fuels them. Because envy doesn't hiss, it smiles. And in the calm before betrayal, the quietest grin often hides the sharpest knife. Section 2. The mask slips in silence. You want to know when the mask falls? It's not when they argue or shout. It's when you go quiet. Because silence is exposure disguised as peace. It removes the stage, the audience, the script. And without those, pretenders forget their lines. People who are genuine aren't scared of your quiet. They respect it. They trust that silence doesn't mean distance. It means depth. But fake ones? They suffocate in it. They panic when they can't read your tone, feed off your reactions, or drain your validation. You'll see the shift. First confusion, then irritation. They'll laugh too loud, question your mood, throw playful insults just to gauge your response. And when that fails, they'll play the victim, painting your calm as cruelty. Silence is the interrogation they can't endure. It doesn't accuse, it reflects. And that reflection burns. When you stop explaining yourself, they lose power. When you stop reacting, they lose access. Their comfort dies the moment you stop supplying energy. That's when they reveal everything, who they are, what they fear, and how little of their loyalty was ever real. Your silence isn't weakness, it's strategy, and it's louder than every fake apology combined. Section 3. The dark psychology, move that changes everything. This is the move, strategic detachment. You withdraw not in anger, but in calculation. You stop talking about your plans. You stop defending your choices. You stop seeking reassurance from people who never meant to give it. You start moving in silence, not to hide, but to observe who grows uncomfortable when they no longer know your next step. You mirror them, not to manipulate, but to measure. When they speak with distance, you match it. When they go silent, you let it stretch. When they mock, you smile without flinching. The balance of power shifts, not because you became colder, but because they can't feed off you anymore. Understand something. Manipulators, narcissists, and fake friends all rely on reaction. They provoke, charm, or guilt trip because your emotional energy keeps them alive. Every response, every defense, every over-explained sentence is fuel. But when you cut off that supply, when you respond with stillness, not emotion, they begin to unravel. They crave your attention like oxygen. And when it's gone, they start choking on their own insecurity. Strategic detachment isn't about revenge or ego. It's discipline, emotional control at its highest form. You're not ignoring them, you're exposing them. You're forcing them to face the emptiness that your validation used to cover. They'll spiral, invent stories, and accuse you of changing, but that's just projection. They're not upset because you're distant. They're terrified because they can't manipulate you anymore. It's a psychological checkmate. You didn't attack them. You simply stopped playing their game. and that's what breaks them. Section 4. The mirror effect. Once you've pulled back your energy, watch what happens next. They'll accuse you of changing. They'll say you've become distant, cold, even arrogant. But what's really happening is projection. They can't handle a reflection that no longer flatters them, that no longer hides their flaws behind your empathy. See, when you mirror people exactly, same tone, same timing, same energy, you hold up a psychological mirror, and mirrors don't lie. They force people to meet themselves. You stop chasing understanding, and suddenly they feel misunderstood. You stop explaining, and they start over-explaining. That's how exposure begins, quietly, psychologically. A fake friend who hides behind charm will feel it crumble. Their words will tremble under the weight of their own pretense. Their humor will turn defensive. Their confidence will shrink because they've lost the reflection that made them feel powerful. You're not exposing them. Their own reflection is. And when they can't stand what they see, they'll do what cowards always do: retreat, gossip, twist stories to escape accountability. That's the mirror effect. It doesn't destroy, it disinfects. It wipes away every illusion they built, every mask they wore. It removes those who were attached to the version of you that served their comfort. And when the noise fades, you'll see the truth. Real ones never needed the mirror. They saw you clearly all along, and they stayed because respect doesn't fear reflection. Section 5. Signs they've been exposed. You'll know the act is over when their energy starts shifting in small, nervous ways. They'll over-explain things no one questioned. They'll use humor as camouflage. They'll show sudden guilt disguised as kindness, compliments that sound rehearsed, apologies that come too late, and gestures that feel like rehearsed damage control. You'll feel the tension in their words, the hesitation in their tone. They're no longer speaking to connect, they're speaking to survive. Some will go quiet, thinking distance makes them mysterious again. Others will get louder, desperate to remind you of what they used to be in your story. Both are forms of panic. The quiet ones fear exposure. The loud ones fear irrelevance. You'll notice small inconsistencies, stories that don't add up, fake concern that arrives only when eyes are watching, laughter that feels delayed. That's the residue of guilt trying to hide under routine. See, when people are truly genuine, they don't chase clarity, they create it. They speak plainly, stand firmly, and their loyalty doesn't need proof. But when someone has been pretending, exposure feels like suffocation. The psychology is simple. Fake friends depend on your blindness. Once you see them clearly, they lose purpose. That's why after you pull back, they start performing, trying to earn back comfort through manipulation, not truth. Don't fall for it. They're not sorry they lied. They're sorry you noticed. And that's when you win. Not by revenge, but by recognition and restraint. Section 6. The lesson beneath the strategy. This move isn't cruelty, it's clarity. It teaches you the difference between attention and respect, between presence and loyalty, between apology and accountability. It's not about making people suffer. It's about ending the suffering you kept calling connection. You stop confusing chaos for closeness. You stop believing that loud affection means deep loyalty. You start to understand that power has nothing to do with control and everything to do with composure. Real power is quiet. It's the ability to stay centered when everything around you tries to pull you off balance. It's knowing when to speak and when to vanish. You realize that loyalty tested by distance is the only kind that survives. You realize that silence doesn't always mean coldness. Sometimes it's self-respect in its purest form. And when you choose peace over attention, the unhealed will always call it arrogance. It's not a war. It's a purification, emotional discipline at its finest. Because when you stop performing for people who never saw you, your silence becomes your crown. They'll feel it deeply, not as pride, but as consequence. The kind that reminds them what they lost when they mistook kindness for weakness and peace for permission. Section 7. Taking back control. Then comes peace. Real, unnerving peace. No chaos. No emotional games. No explaining yourself to people, too fragile to handle honesty. You walk lighter, not because you forgave them, but because you finally understood they were never your burden to carry. You don't chase closure anymore. You embody it. This is the part they'll never understand. You didn't become colder. You became measured, precise. Your energy isn't public property anymore. It's a privilege, not an open invitation. You've learned that protecting your space isn't selfish, it's survival. They'll whisper about how you've changed. They'll label your calm as arrogance, your silence as distance, your boundaries as cruelty. Let them. That's how the fragile justify their discomfort with your growth. You no longer need validation from the crowd. You've outgrown the performance. When you master detachment, the world starts bending around your stillness. You stop begging to be chosen. You start choosing who's even worthy of access. The noise fades, the games dissolve, and what's left is clarity. Sharp, unshakable, liberating. And in that quiet, you finally understand. Peace isn't the prize you earn after the battle. It's the blade that ended it. Peace was the power all along. The trick isn't to expose fake friends with confrontation. It's to make their own reflection unbearable. Detach. Withdraw. Go silent. Their reactions will confess more than their words ever could. Because the loudest truth is never shouted. It's felt. And when they finally realize they can no longer reach you, that's when the performance ends. So don't warn them. Don't argue. Just disappear. Gracefully, quietly, deliberately. Let absence speak the language they never understood. That loyalty is proven in silence, and exposure doesn't require revenge, only distance. Now, disappear. And if you understand what real power feels like, prove it. Subscribe, and leave your words below. Not for attention, but to be heard by the few who truly see.